In this video, I want to talk to you about don't judge a book by its cover. So everything that looks good is not good, and everything that doesn't look good could possibly be the best thing ever. So last week or 2 weeks ago was the 4th of July, and so I cooked 2-pound cakes. And so it's a long story why I cooked 2-pound cakes. But anyway, we cooked 2-pound cakes, and so the first cake was beautiful. The first cake was ugly. And so from the very start, it looked a little too clunky. It looked like the butter didn't mix as well as it should have. It just didn't look right going in. There was just things I was worried about. It was clunky butter at the end. I was kind of worried about how was it going to taste. And then the other one was beautiful. Like, it mixed well. We made sure it mixed well. It looked beautiful. The batter looked good. It was, looked like it was evenly. Everything was mixed well. And so we poured it up. It looked fine. And so when the cakes come out, the first one, as suspected, it looked ugly. It kind of, after it cooled, it looked like it started to fall apart. It was just ugly. It was ugly pound cake, right? And then the one that was beautiful, of course, it came out beautiful. It looked like it was going to taste really well. And so what happened was, when we tasted the cakes, I tasted both of the cakes, a thin slice of both pieces of cake, and the one that looked ugly tastes the best. And I was thinking, how is it even possible? And so we kind of go through all these different things that the butter, even though it didn't even though it didn't mix well, it seemed in the mixer, and we poured it into the bundt cake, it had a chance to kind of mix better as it was cooking at the high temperature, right? And so the other cake, it looked well. So we tasted it. I tasted it. It wasn't as good. It was a little bit dry. It didn't taste good. So the cake that looked ugly, that kind of fell apart a little bit, had pieces of it that kind of fell apart, was delicious. It was really good. And so it made me think about how we go through life and we judge people before we even know them. We judge them by biases sometimes because we listen to what other people say about them, and we make a decision based on what somebody else said, instead of giving people the benefit of the doubt and really seeing them for who they really are. It made me think about, we make these snap decisions and we keep ourselves from the good relationships because a person looks a certain way, they're a certain whatever, race, age, sex, whatever it is, and we misjudge them. We have these biases that we don't even realize we have. And so it keeps us from building these relationships with people who are more alike than they are different. And so just something to be thinking about today is, what are you judging? How are you judging people in life? Do you judge people that have addictions? And so I love to show people a different side of addiction, because I always when I thought about addiction, I always thought about somebody who was addicted to sex or gambling or drugs or alcohol. But the truth of the matter is, there are people who are addicted to social media. There are people who are addicted to food. There are people who are addicted to sugar. There's all these different addictions, and they're all the same, right? That people struggle with them all. They're all hard. They're all, addictions that we wish we didn't have. But there's something, it might be being judging people, being critical. These are all addictions. These are things that we do, and we're trying to stop, but we haven't, maybe we haven't stopped. But think about this. What are you judging? Who are you judging in your life? What are you judging people by? The way they look, by their age? Are you judging them? Because what I know for sure is that we've all been young, and we all will be old. If we continue to live, we'll get older. And so it's not good to be mean or judging people who are older, because we will have to pass that way. It's all the things, right? It's just judging people by their weight when we don't know their story. And I know for a fact, behind any obese person there is a story. And if we knew the story, we could be more compassionate, right? But we have to be compassionate without knowing the story. It could be, all kind of things, right? Just something to be thinking about today is, are you judging? Who are you judging? Why are you judging them? Sometimes we do it without even realizing it, that we're judging them. But is it their race? Are we judging them because of their race, or because they're different from us? Or are we judging them because they're different from us? They have different thoughts and ideas than we do. Are we judging them because of their social class? So we judge people without realizing. So just something to be thinking about today is, are we judging people? What can we do? How can we be less judgmental? And I know it's tough, because I find myself not wanting to be judgmental, not wanting to be critical, but I find myself doing it. But it's something you got to make a conscious effort to not be judging people, not to be, give people the benefit of the doubt, listening to people, learning from people, trying to understand their story. Just something to think about today is judging people. Are you judging people? Are you giving people the benefit of the doubt? Are you judging somebody just based on their, 5 seconds of knowing them, 5 seconds of an interaction, and how you can change that?